Just when the Luna and Lucy thought they'd found peace, another tragedy happened that threatened to break them completely. It was a calm, quiet evening at the mansion. The air was filled with laughter. Luna, Lucy, their husbands Martins and David, and their beloved father figure Mr. Maxwell were all sitting under the mango tree at the backyard. Obina and Amanda played in the grass, giggling as they chased butterflies, until Luna's phone buzzed. She picked it up absent-mindedly, still smiling, until her eyes landed on the screen. Her face changed instantly. The smile vanished. Her fingers trembled. Lucy noticed immediately. "Luna, what is it?" Mr. Maxwell leaned forward. "Is everything all right?" David stood. "Babe, you're scaring me." Luna's lips parted, her voice dry. "She's out?" Everyone went silent. Martins asked, a cold pit rising in his throat. Luna slowly turned the phone around. On the screen was a single message. "Get ready for my return. You, your sister, and your adoptive father will pay for what you all did to me. Monica." Maxwell shot to his feet. "What?" David froze. Martin's eyes widened. Lucy's hand flew to her chest. "No, that can't be." "She escaped," Luna whispered. "From prison. She's coming." Maxwell's jaw clenched. How could this happen? How could they let that psychopath out? Lucy looked around nervously. What if she's already watching us? Mr. Maxwell immediately pulled out his phone and began issuing orders. "Double the security. Lock down every gate. I want every inch of this house under surveillance by nightfall." Luna clung to David. Lucy's fingers wrapped tightly around Martin's. They had faced storms before, but this was a different darkness. What they didn't know was Monica wasn't hiding. She was planning. And the storm was closer than they thought. The days passed. Security teams patrolled every hour, CCTV cameras were mounted on every corner, dogs roamed at night. Maxwell even had 2 private security guards stationed outside each bedroom. The family gradually began to relax. The children laughed again. The girls spent time in the foundation's office. Maxwell started planning his upcoming 80th birthday with joy in his heart. That's when she struck. That night, everyone was asleep. The moonlight filtered through the windows. The mansion was quiet and peaceful. Then, tap, tap, a gentle knock on Luna's door. Half asleep, she opened her eyes, thinking it was a dream. Then she saw the shadow. A figure, tall, female, standing in the room. Luna blinked, trying to adjust her eyes. Then, her blood froze. Standing there was Monica. Her long black coat blended with the darkness. Her eyes burned like fire, holding a gun. "You thought you could destroy me and enjoy life. You and your sister stole everything that was meant for me," she hissed. Luna's mouth opened, but no sound came. David stirred beside her. "What's going on?" he mumbled, before suddenly jerking awake. Monica's voice cut through the air. "Get up, both of you, quietly." David stood slowly, hands raised. "Please, we don't want trouble." Monica pressed the gun to Luna's chest. "Move!" They obeyed. She led them out the back hallway, down the rear stairs where the cameras had been disabled just moments ago. Outside, a black van waited. Luna glanced back, praying for a miracle, but the guards had been drugged. They were gone. The van door flung open. "Get in!" one of Monica's men shouted. They climbed in. Within seconds, the van vanished into the night. The sun had not yet risen when Lucy and Martins were awakened by loud knocks at their door. "Ma, sir, please wake up." A security officer stood, pale-faced. "We can't find Luna and David." Lucy shot out of bed. "What?" She ran to her sister's room, empty. The bed was cold. Their baby, Obina, still slept peacefully in his cot. Lucy screamed. "Luna!" Martins grabbed his phone and called Maxwell. "Sir, it's happened." Within minutes, the house roared to life. Alarms blared, lights flickered. Maxwell burst through the hallway in his robe, eyes wide with rage. "Not again," he growled. "Not on my watch." Inside an abandoned warehouse, Luna and David sat tied to chairs. Monica paced in front of them, furious, her mascara smudged, her eyes bloodshot. 2 men in the shadows, armed, waiting. You took my life, she spat. Maxwell took everything from me for you two. Monica, Luna said gently, you can still walk away. We can find peace. Shut up, she screamed, pulling the gun again. You want peace? You'll give me what's mine, or you'll both be corpses by sunrise. She pulled out her phone. Maxwell will transfer every single thing he owns to me. Property, accounts, the company. Or I'll send him your heads. David spoke up, calm despite the fear. He'll never give in to you. Monica smirked. Oh, but he already agreed. Back at the mansion, Maxwell stared at his screen. Monica's voice echoed through the phone. 3 hours, transfer every property, every money to me, or they die. Maxwell breathed slowly. Send me the account details. He motioned to the head of security. Trace the call. I'll stall her. Within minutes, their tech team isolated the location, an abandoned warehouse owned by Chief Donald, Monica's longtime partner in crime. Maxwell's face darkened. It's time. 3 hours passed. Monica was getting impatient. Last chance, she said, her phone shaking in her hand. Make the transfer or they die. Maxwell's voice came through calmly. Check your phone. She glanced down. A file had just arrived. She opened it. Instead of bank details, it was live GPS coordinates flashed across the screen. Then there was a loud sound. The warehouse door exploded. Smoke filled the room. Lights shattered. Armed policemen entered. Hands up, they shouted. Monica, seeing her end, refused to go down easily. She pulled the trigger, and she did the unthinkable. She shot Luna. But Luna was smarter. Before Monica could fire, Luna ducked. The bullet hit the wall. She turned to shoot again, and then the shot came in bang. A shot hit her right arm. She screamed. The gun dropped from her hand. Officers surrounded the men. They were arrested instantly. Monica was dragged away, screaming, I'll kill you all. I'll kill you. At dawn, Luna and David returned home. Bruised, but safe. Lucy ran into her sister's arms, sobbing. Maxwell hugged them both, tears in his eyes. That week, Monica and Chief Donald were arraigned in court. The judge, stern and unmoved, found them guilty of kidnapping, attempted murder, criminal conspiracy, and Monica's prison escape. Chief Donald was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Monica was sentenced to death by hanging. 2 weeks later, the sentence was carried out. Luna and Lucy sat in silence the day it happened. Neither cheered, neither cried. They just held their children close and whispered, It's finally over. But as they were about to move on, Maxwell's 80th birthday arrived, and what happened that day was something no one would forget. The sun rose gently over the city of Lagos, casting a golden hue of Maxwell Jonathan. It had been 2 weeks since Monica's execution. Peace had returned, but scars remained, unspoken wounds behind every smile. And yet, today was different. Today was about celebration. Today was about the man who had changed the lives of Luna and Lucy forever. Mr. Maxwell was turning 80. The mansion was alive with movement. Decorators rushed through the hallways, hanging silk drapes of white and gold. The garden was transformed into an elegant outdoor venue, lined with crystal chairs, floating white orchids, and a stage backed with glowing LED panels. Chefs prepared a 5-course feast inside the estate kitchen. Jollof rice, seafood okra, suya skewers, and honey-glazed chicken. A chocolate fountain bubbled beside carved fruit sculptures. Every guest would remember this day. But for Luna and Lucy, this day wasn't just a birthday. It was a chance to say the words they had never fully said. Luna adjusted the straps of her elegant coral gown while Lucy secured her baby's pacifier. You're shaking, Lucy whispered, smoothing her sister's sleeves. Luna nodded. I keep thinking about everything. Where we started, that day we gave up our food. Lucy's eyes welled. And now we have this. Luna looked at her reflection, then at her sister. We have to make this speech unforgettable. Lucy smiled. Let's do it. For him. Black SUVs lined the driveway. Dignitaries stepped out. Governors, CEOs, celebrities, and even former presidents. The air buzzed with camera shutters and the sound of jazz music playing from a live band near the fountain. Mr. Maxwell walked out slowly from the mansion, wearing a sleek black agbada embroidered with gold thread. His beard was full grey now, but his steps were strong. His sons-in-law, Martins and David, walked beside him with pride. When he appeared, the crowd stood and clapped. He gave a small wave, humbled by the love, and then his eyes searched the crowd. For them. Luna and Lucy stepped forward. The band paused. The MC, with a wide smile, took the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, on this remarkable day we invite to the stage two women who embody kindness, courage, and transformation. They call him Dad. We call him a legend. Please welcome Luna and Lucy Jonathan." The audience erupted in applause. The twins walked slowly to the stage. Both wore fitted gowns that shimmered under the garden lights, Luna in coral, Lucy in emerald green. Their husbands stood just behind them, holding their babies, Abinna and Amanda. Luna held the mic, her voice trembling at first. "Good evening, everyone," she began. "Many of you know Mr. Maxwell Jonathan as a billionaire, a businessman, a philanthropist. But we know him as something more," Lucy continued, taking the second mic. "We know him as a father." There was a hush. Lucy looked down briefly, then raised her eyes to the crowd. Two little girls, alone under a bridge in Oshodi, no food, no hope. Until he found us. Luna's voice cracked. He was pretending to be blind, hungry, dressed in rags, and even though we had nothing, we gave him our only meal. "Because our mother once said," Lucy said, tears glistening, "kindness means the most when you have nothing left to give." Luna turned to Maxwell, who now stood near the stage, stunned. "And you, sir, you gave us everything. You gave us a home," Lucy added, "a name, an education, a future. You saved us," they said in unison. The crowd began to sniffle. Some wiped their eyes, others simply nodded. Luna's voice softened. "You lost your wife, your daughters. You closed your heart, but you opened it again for us." Lucy took a breath. "We never got to say this properly." Both girls looked down at Maxwell, who stood frozen with emotion. "We love you, Dad." The crowd stood, clapping, cheering, crying. Maxwell's lips trembled. He stepped onto the stage, arms wide. Luna and Lucy rushed into his embrace, and for the first time in years, he cried. In front of everyone. The unshakable billionaire, Maxwell Jonathan, wept. But they weren't tears of sorrow, they were tears of healing. Just as Maxwell led his daughters down the steps, an unfamiliar voice broke through the noise. "Ahem." Everyone turned. An old man in a white kaftan stepped forward, escorted by security. His hair was grey, and his face lined with age. Maxwell's eyes narrowed. "Chief Adebayo?" he said cautiously. The crowd murmured. Lucy whispered, "Who is he?" "A powerful businessman, and one of Monica's former allies," Maxwell replied. "But I thought he vanished years ago." The chief raised both hands. "I came with no ill intention," he said into the mic. "In fact, I came to confess." The garden fell silent again. "I was the silent hand behind Monica," Chief Adebayo admitted. "I gave her resources, connections, because I hated Maxwell. I believed he took something from me long ago." Gasps. "But I was wrong." He turned to Maxwell. "I watched what you did for these girls. I watched how you faced loss and still gave love, and I realized I was the one who lost everything, because my heart was full of hatred." He bowed. "I am ready to turn myself in." Maxwell stood frozen, but before he could respond, the crowd clapped again, not because they celebrated the man, but because for once, justice had come full circle, without bloodshed. Closing the day that evening, as fireworks lit the night sky, Luna and Lucy sat again under the mango tree, this time not alone. Their children giggled in the grass, their husbands joked nearby, and Mr. Maxwell, wrapped in a thick shawl, sat in the center. "I don't need a gift," he whispered. You already gave us one, Luna replied. You gave us each other, Lucy added. They clinked their glasses gently, watching the sky shimmer above them. But just before they went inside, Maxwell received a call. He looked down. His smile faded. Then he stood slowly and walked toward the house. Lucy noticed. Dad, what is it? He didn't answer. He just stared at the screen and whispered. It's not over. The moon had long replaced the sun. Fireworks had faded into smoke. The laughter had softened into goodbyes. Guests were leaving Maxwell's estate with full hearts and teary eyes, but inside the mansion something shifted. Maxwell stood frozen, his phone in hand, his face pale. Lucy called to him again, walking quickly. Dad, what's wrong? Luna rushed behind her. What is it? Maxwell handed Lucy the phone. On the screen was a single message. You think Monica was your biggest threat. You were wrong. We're not done yet. The Circle. Lucy's brow furrowed. The Circle? Maxwell turned away, jaw tight. It's an old name, a secret group of business elites. They own politicians, judges, police chiefs. Monica was only their puppet. Luna's eyes widened. So? She wasn't acting alone? No, Maxwell said quietly. She was their way in, and now they're out for blood. The following morning, Maxwell summoned his most trusted inner circle, lawyers, security chiefs, tech experts, and a private investigator named Tundi, an ex-military strategist with a mind like steel. The circle wants control, Maxwell explained. They believe the girls will inherit my assets and disrupt their plans. They want to erase every legacy I'm building. What's the plan? David asked. Tundi leaned forward. We go dark. Dark, Martins repeated. Yes, we erase your digital footprints. We relocate all assets. We put the girls and their families under 24/7 protection, until we dismantle the circle one by one. Lucy stepped forward. You mean go into hiding? Tunde nodded. Not hide, prepare. Maxwell turned to Luna and Lucy. I won't let them touch you, not ever again. But this time, we fight back. That night, the mansion was dead silent. Obina and Amanda were fast asleep. Martins and David stood guard with Tunde's men. But Luna couldn't sleep. She walked quietly into the study and found Maxwell alone, staring at an old photograph. It was him, his wife, his 2 daughters, long gone. I still see their faces, he whispered, not looking at her. Luna stepped closer. They'd be proud of you. Maxwell chuckled sadly, or heartbroken, that I brought more children into my world of enemies. Luna sat beside him. You didn't bring us into danger, sir. You brought us into family. That's worth everything. Maxwell turned to her with a small smile. You still call me sir? She grinned. Okay, Dad. 2 days later, the storm came. Maxwell's foundation building in Abuja was burned to the ground. His bank accounts were temporarily frozen by falsified court orders, and a viral news report claimed that the twins were imposters. Fake orphans planted to steal his wealth. It was chaos. Lucy burst into tears. They're trying to ruin us. Martins hugged her tightly. They won't win. Luna turned to Maxwell. We fight. We don't run. And they did. They released video footage of Monica's confession. They provided documents proving their adoption and years of education. And then, Maxwell did the unthinkable. He went live. The world watched as Maxwell Jonathan sat at his desk and spoke directly to the camera. I am not a perfect man, he began, but I am a father. These girls saved my life the day they gave up their only food for a stranger. He paused. They were homeless. Now they are heroes. If you believe otherwise, look at the evidence, not the lies. He turned to the side. And to the circle. Come for me, but you will never touch my daughters again. That same week, Tunde's team hacked into a secret offshore account tied to the circle's leader, Chief Emmanuel Bako. Using data they traced through Monica's contacts, they discovered hidden tapes, meetings, bribes, and more. The case exploded. By the end of the month, the government issued warrants for 11 top figures, including former allies of Monica. Court hearings followed. One by one, the circle's leaders were brought down. Maxwell walked into the courtroom beside Luna and Lucy, not as a victim, but as a conqueror. 3 months later, a new era began. Maxwell transferred all his companies into a family trust under the Amanda Jonathan Foundation. The name Jonathan was no longer just his. It was theirs. Obina and Amanda's first birthdays were celebrated with fireworks, cake towers, and a surprise appearance from the president himself, who commended Luna and Lucy publicly for their bravery. And on a quiet afternoon, as the sun poured through the glass windows of the mansion, Maxwell sat on the bench under the mango tree. His beard was longer, his cane rested beside him. But his heart was full. The twins joined him, Luna cradling Obina, Lucy holding Amanda. They sat in silence. Then Lucy said, "Do you remember when you asked us not to answer if anyone asked where we came from?" Maxwell smiled. "Yes." Luna leaned her head on his shoulder. "Now we finally have an answer." He looked down at her, confused. "Which is?" She smiled. "We came from kindness." And so the story ended not with revenge, but with legacy. The world saw orphans, but Maxwell saw daughters. The world saw brokenness, but Luna and Lucy rebuilt everything with love. They gave away one meal and received a future. Because in the end, true wealth isn't money. It's who you share your table with. If you enjoy this story, comment, share and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories. Where are you watching from?